of Kyiv, as local officials there report intensified fighting on at least three sides of that capital city. Ukrainian defense officials sharing this video, claiming Ukrainian forces were able to destroy parts of a Russian military convoy advancing on Kyiv from the east, forcing the rest of the tanks and armored personnel carriers to retreat. Kyiv's mayor saying earlier today it's clear these advances are part of the Russian plan to encircle the city and topple the Zelensky government. We're also getting a horrific new look at some of the humanitarian costs of this war. We want to warn you, what we're about to show you is quite graphic. Photographers capturing this scene in the southeast city of Mariupol, a mass grave of murdered Ukrainians. The mayor saying at least 1,300 civilians have been killed in Mariupol alone since Putin's war began. Let's get straight to CNN's Clarissa Ward, who's live for us in the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. And Clarissa, does it appear the Russian military is starting to make real gains in the cities around Kyiv?
Well, there was a major development today, Jake, and that is that the Russians now appear to be making a push, not just in the northwest and west of the city, as they have been for the last 10 days or so, but now also from the east. The eastern suburb of Brovary came under heavy fire today, a lot of fighting. There's some extraordinary drone video which shows you essentially a large column of Russian tanks coming under fire by Ukrainian forces. You can literally see them being picked off from their defensive positions along the side of the road by what one would imagine would be anti-tank missiles like the Javelins that the U.S. has been supplying them with. So they're definitely having a tough time in the sense that the Ukrainians are fighting hard and in a sense have an advantage because the Russians are using the roads so the Ukrainians can lie in wait. However, according to a U.S. official, they are now on the eastern side, about 25 miles outside of the capital now. On the western and northwestern side, it's closer to 10 to 15 miles. So there is a sense now that the picture is looking like an attempted encirclement and laying siege to the city. And that's what we heard today, Jake, from the mayor of Kyiv, Vitaly Klitschko, who said that he believes, and Ukrainian officials believe, that Kyiv is still the prize and that the objective of Russian forces is to try to completely surround it, lay siege to it, bombard it, and topple the government. Now, that still could be a tall order for Russian forces, and it may take them quite some time. But certainly this development, seeing Russian forces making that push to the east, is significant, and for the people of Kyiv, deeply concerning.
Clarissa, a meeting today between the foreign ministers of Ukraine and Russia ended, not surprisingly, with no real breakthroughs. Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov even made the deranged lie that Russia did not attack Ukraine. So what's next on that front?
Well, no one had been expecting a major breakthrough, but I think people were even more disappointed than they had expected to be, because what became clear from Foreign Minister Lavrov's comments was that there was no possibility within the context of these talks to even really discuss something like a ceasefire. He said that those negotiations have to take place in the sort of Belarus format that we've seen those Ukrainian and Russian delegations discussing in, and that he, and Foreign Minister Kuleba said that it was apparent that he didn't even have the authority to say that the Russians would adhere to any kind of a ceasefire, even if that was the intention. One other thing that was really important, we heard Lavrov say, Jake, he was calling again for the denazification and demilitarization of the Ukrainian side. Those are two very extreme demands that the Russians have made that they had seemed to back away from a little bit before, but putting them back on the table today, Jake.
All right, Clarissa Ward, live in Kyiv, Ukraine. Thank you. Please stay safe. To southern